Hi, I'm Matt Hettwer. I'm a professional freelance trombone player. I was honored playing with the St. Paul's musicians today. I'm here to talk about the trombone a little bit, sort of the history and the evolution of the trombone. The trombone that you see here is very modern trombone, but back in the 15th century is sort of the first time we see the predecessor of the modern trombone, which was called the sackbut. Now, it's a funny word, but the sackbut is actually two French words combined, meaning to push and pull. So basically we have the slide and we're pushing and pulling the slide. In the 15th century, in the Middle Ages and the Renaissance is when we see the sackbut used in literature by composers back then. Interesting thing about the sackbut and the trombone is that it has a slide, of course, which allows variations on pitch. Back then, trumpets or brass instruments back then didn't have valves yet, so they couldn't change the pitch. They were limited to pitch on the harmonic series, which sort of limits the amount of notes you can play. But with the slide, you can play all the chromatic notes on the instrument. And what was great about the sackbut for the time was it was able to double singers, vocalists in sacred music. So it was its primary use back then. And as time went on, the sackbut sort of fell out of use, and in Mozart's and Beethoven's time, it started to get a little bit more, gain a little more prominence in the literature, especially by the time Beethoven's Fifth Symphony came along, which was, I think, at least one of its first uses in the symphonic literature. So, and as time went on, the trombone got bigger. Has on this one, it has an F attachment, which allows the player to extend the range. Basically, the tubing goes through here. Goes up here, but if you press the valve down, it goes through this extra tubing, which lowers the pitch. So it gives the player a little more versatility. The way the trombone is constructed is there's the slide, and the bell is spun, and all the different parts are put together, but it's mostly just bell section and slide. It's not very complicated instrument compared to most instruments. Just to give you a brief overview of the sound and range of the trombone. So that's about the range of the trombone. In the trombone family, there are the tenor trombone, which is what I'm holding now. There's the bass trombone and the alto trombone. Tenor being the most common, but you also see bass trombone in symphony orchestras and jazz bands, big bands, I should say. And the reason for the different sizes of the trombones were back in the Renaissance. The primary use of the sackbut or trombone was to double voices. So the tenors would double the tenors, basses would double the basses, and so forth. It was a real pleasure speaking to you about the trombone. Thanks for listening.